Hey, it's Jeff. Welcome back. Today we're playing a game against NainwalPhysics. So the student that I took on, I'm making the videos for, and he asked for a game. I asked him if it was cool if I recorded, and he said yeah. So that's why I'm making this video. Now, what I'm going to do with this game is I'm going to try to illustrate the thought process that I want a lot of people to take on, at least when it comes to tactics. So usually for every move, oh wait, auto abort, okay, I'll make a move. That's why I made the first move pretty quickly. But so we're just gonna look at tactics mostly. So I made a video on it, three the tactics. That's what we're mainly going to focus on. So right now I'm just developing. So you should know the opening principles, developed pieces. E4 openings are pretty good because you get really quick development. Your knight out, bishop out, can castle really quickly. One thing, if we were to castle, if we look for all checks, captures, and threats, they would be able to take the e4 pawn that's undefended. Usually that's kind of okay because you can then bring the rook over and then get more pressure on this pawn. But right now I'm just going to protect this pawn because it's attacked, so I'm just going to defend it. And then we'll see what they do. And then the first thing we'll do when they make a move is look for their threat. So they made the move h6. That doesn't really threaten anything. We don't have a piece here, so it's mainly like preventing me from going to that square kind of move. Now, let's say you decide you want to make a move, but if you decided you want to put a bishop here or something, the blunder check should tell you that their check, capture, and threats, they could just take your bishop. But if we castle, I don't see any dangerous check, captures, or threats. They could move the knights here. You always gotta check all their knight moves. They could go here, attacking the bishop. And actually, this one's kind of interesting because they might just get the bishop here if I'm not careful, because I wouldn't have a good square for the bishop. I would just have to trade. But that's probably okay. I don't really know this opening that well. Actually, if they moved the knight, I could just take the pawn for free. But I'm just gonna castle since we just want to complete development as fast as possible, or mainly just get the king as safe as possible. So their king is still in the center. So if their king continues to stay in the center, then that'll become an object of attack. And actually, we can already see this kind of forming. Like the pawn could take, rook can get here, and things can open up against their king. Now this it's not quite a blunder, I don't think. I'm trying to see, okay, you take, if they take, we take, and then they take, and that's fine for them. I do still think I want to take anyway, just because when we bring the rook here, then we're putting pressure on this, which is only defended once by the knight, and it would be attacked twice like this. And then they might start to weaken things with that later. So I don't really know exactly how we're gonna break through, but probably moving the rook here doesn't hurt. Like it comes with an active threat of taking this pawn and winning material. So we'll see if they do anything about that. Okay, and they do make the weakening move that I was hoping that they would eventually play. Unfortunately, I can't do like any nice sacrifice just yet, or maybe I could. I don't know. Like take and then this looks interesting, but I don't think it's super winning right now. Okay, what can I do? I feel like there should be some active way to play, but I don't really see it. You know, maybe I'll just go here and then maybe the queen can go to b3. Nah. Or I'm also thinking of this move. And if we move the knight, then maybe there's something there. I'm just gonna go for this one. Also, yeah, I know I'm taking a lot of time for this, but I'm also trying to explain like my thought process. In terms of like blunder check, I didn't really see anything that they could do against me. But I see like a lot of holes in their position. Like I'm castled, they're not castled. So now I can do a whole lot of things, create threats, and it'll be really difficult for them to defend against stuff. Also, where are they going to castle? Because if they castle this way, they've already weakened their king a lot. So they might be trying to castle that way. But now if I just take this, I've doubled their pawn, so now no matter where they castle, they're going to have weaknesses. And if they stay in the center, they're also going to have weaknesses. Whereas my king is safe. None of my pawns have moved, and it's fine. I could actually move this pawn here if I wanted, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. This did stop my idea of going here one day, though. But that's kind of okay because I think I like this trade of bishop for knight and just ruining their pawn structure. And actually, I said I was going to mainly focus on the tactics, but I guess that's kind of difficult to do. So yeah, just doubling their pawns like this and they're isolated is like a good positional advantage. Like this can be attacked later in an endgame for sure. Or even just a middle game, like I'm looking into moving here or here, especially just to get out of the pin. But I think I will actually go h3, just so if they go back, I could move the knight freely. If they go here, I don't know. Because I don't necessarily want to do this unless I know it's going to be good. Because that would just weaken my king a lot more, and they could just move back, and that might actually be better for them. Got an alarm going off on my watch. Okay, so now what I want to do is, I guess, maybe just go for this pawn break. The problem is, if, no, they can't take. So yeah, I'll just go for this. So now we have the threat again of winning material by that way. And actually, if this was allowed and I got the rook here, then they would also be losing the bishop because it would be a fork when the king and the bishop. And if they were to push this pawn to try to take advantage of the pin, I could just take it with check. If they were to move the knight here, I could also take it because they can't move because of the pin. If they go here, I'm also just going to win material. They could probably develop the bishop and try to protect things like that. That might be one of their better defensive options right now. And then actually just castling soon after would probably be pretty good for them. Like, I think this is a really bad position for them to be in, though, regardless, because they do have a lot of weaknesses. Although, a lot of their weaknesses are on the light squares, and I don't have a light square bishop, so... Okay, they do find this move. Okay, so what do we do here? I'm kind of wanting to eventually put a bishop here just to keep that kind of threat alive. The problem is the knight could take it, so now I want to look at this move to make the knight move. And actually, this has a lot of... This might actually just be winning on the spot. So if we go here, if they go here, we know we can take because they're pinned. If they go back, we can actually trap their bishop. If they go this way, we can fork their knight and bishop. And if they go here, I guess that's probably one of the better moves. But I think it's highly likely they'll play one of these blunders. But this is actually the best move. And then we could look at this, kick the knight. It's probably... They probably get away with this somehow. Also, I got 3 minutes left. Well, closer to 4. But yeah, so I think this is the move they have to play. Unless they have like some intermediate stuff. Okay, they do go there. Now I will kick the knight, and now... Okay, the knight on a6, that's much better for me than where it was, because now I can just do whatever I want. It's pretty much out of play at this point, because like, it would have to go like this, this, to even try to get back in the game, but then it's blocked by these pawns still. So then maybe try to go here. If you're just trying to make a lot of knight moves to improve the knight from a6, you see it's pretty difficult. And I'll just keep my pawns guarding like that. And they still can't take because of this pin. And this pin is really critical for this game. And it's only because they did not castle. So their king is still in the center, Whereas again, my king was castled on move 5. Okay, so they go for this. Okay. So if I take, they do have this fork of this, so that's important to see. Now, if I go here and they go here, now I can calculate stuff because I have checks. And they may or may not be worth it. I don't think they're worth it. So I think I would probably have to take with this pawn. So I didn't see this. But still, my king is probably still safer than theirs. Like, they can't even get their queen out to check. And now their knight's all the way back there. I could go here. And then, well, the knight would go back. I was going to try to, like, take that pawn. Maybe I'll go here now. And, again, play on that pin. But the main reason I'm moving this pawn instead of the bishop here is that I want this check available to really make it so that they can't castle. And as always, they cannot take anything because they're pinned. And actually, even if they castle now, then I take. Maybe I'm winning material. Actually, this wouldn't be good because they think they would be able to check and then pick up the bishop. That's a lot of moves to calculate. Okay, they did this, which is a very bad position to move because they're creating like a tactical situation for themselves. Like they're putting the queen completely opposite here, and it's only just blocked by their pawn. So now they really can't capture because they would lose their queen. So that's just really bad from a tactical perspective. But also, they blocked in their bishop. So it's wrong for 2 reasons. So I'll just go here. And at this point, so material was even until this point in the game. Although I thought I was kind of better for a lot of it. This is actually the point where I don't feel like they can come back from this. So they'll just be down material, and there's nothing that can really be done. So I'll take, unless like I blunder. But usually like you can't count on those things happening all the time. Especially with like this kind of rating difference. Not to say it's impossible, but usually like when you look back at what went wrong in the game, being down a bishop would not help. Now I kind of don't want to do this because that would open up stuff for potential counterplay. So I actually don't know what I want to do. But I'm gonna go here. That way if they do take, I'm still covering this like that. Okay, they go here. I should probably develop some pieces. So I'm gonna bring my knight out. They might bring one of their rooks here to attack the queen. I could just give a quick check and then develop my bishop. Well, I don't know if I'd want to... Actually, I can go here and then create an extra threat. So attacking this and attacking this. They can move back, but then their knight's back where it started, pretty much. And then my development is actually better. Also, I have like low time, so I should start like trying to convert. So this is a more of a technical phase where like you had an advantage, and we saw like when we analyzed a lot of NainwalPhysics games, you would be winning early on and then somehow just find a way to lose it. So okay, but what I want to do is trade. So I don't want to move the bishop because I would lose that pawn. I go here to offer a trade. So I'm up material, so I just want to trade down and win the end game. Now they can't bring a rook there just yet. They do activate their knight. I'm gonna go here. Now I have like freedom for my bishop to move without worrying about losing a pawn. And if their knight moves, I could also go here to get a check and then try to develop my bishop again. And actually now I want to do this. Okay, I'm running out of time. But I'm threatening this, and that would pin the knight to the king. I'm also just threatening to win the thing in the first place. But they go like here trying to take the open file. Well, one, I guess it would lose to that. But if they go something like this to protect it, or this, then this would be winning. Okay, they do go for that one. Now I'll just go here, and now we're gonna try to take with the queen next. If the queen's still there, it'll force a trade of queens, and then we're really in business. They can't go here because the knight's guarding. They can't go here because the bishop's guarding. Okay, so now, again, sometimes I would see he would do something like this instead. And actually that might be kind of good because then you get discovered checks and maybe do that, but the quickest way is just to force a trade of queens by checking them like that. And again, now the rook can't do this or this because of that and that. We have this passed pawn. It's probably going to get lost, but we're up like +5 as you can see. And now it's almost bad. Like they wouldn't be able to stop this pawn with the rook, but they could with the king. So I'll go here, and next I could try to. Oh, I guess I'm hanging that pawn. That's okay, because we're just up so much material right now that it doesn't really matter. But now I'll go here, the bishop out. Now I could always put the knight here. It's on an outpost square, can't be attacked by any pawns. I have 30 seconds left. My win condition is going to be trying to get the rook here, and then trying to help the pawn promote or something. But I guess they could go here and try to take the pawn, but then the knight will be guarding, and then the rook can come and give a check. Then we'll try to figure out what to do after. This pawn is also hanging. Okay, so let's protect the pawn. And then we'll get the rook to the 7th rank, and we'll see why rooks on the 7th rank are very powerful. I'm actually almost about to lose the game because I'm just taking time commentating. So now I'm going to stop talking because at this point we got most of the win, and I just want to pick up some pawns. So we're going to 7th rank, their king is super cut off. Threatening to promote. Problem is they can go here. Okay, they just let me promote. They could have made that a lot more difficult for me by going king f7. But now I can go here and try to checkmate. Actually just rook here, and then maybe it's checkmate on the next. No, it's not. Almost is. They're probably going to give a check and move out the way. Actually, that does protect the that stuff. Then I guess I'll move the knight in, and then sacrifice. Oh, they just give me that. And now I'm just going to try to simplify by getting their last piece off the board, even if I had to sacrifice a queen. They might run their pawn down. The knight here, nope. Okay, I'll just try to queen my pawn. I can always bring my king over to stop that pawn. I did have to, okay, let's see what's going on. Oh, I could have taken that pawn. Ooh, I have to make sure I'm not going to stalemate them. Alright, that was a good game. Down to the wire in terms of the time. But I did spend like a lot of time, like even on to move 8, I spent like 50, almost a minute, just because I was trying to set up the video. But let me check what the accuracy was. But that was so actually the last games I played on my account are against him, and it was both 24 move games where I won. So this was a 50 move game. So let's see. So overall, I did not like this move. It just kind of indicated that there were going to be weaknesses around his king, like if he castled this way, which means he should probably look into castling that way. But what happened was he stayed in the center. Apparently I probably had a better move to... Did do good to not fall into some of the dangerous knight traps. But the problem is the knight ends up on a6, which is very inactive. But he also did a really good find of, instead of just moving the knight away when it's attacked, to just go for this, because if I take, then I would get forked. So that made me have to create a small position of weakness by taking with the pawn and weakening my king. Like, I didn't want to have to do this, so that was a good find by them. And I had missed this. And then at this point, like, let me see, is the evaluation... Oh, I get the evaluation bar. Oh well. Anyway, at this point, it's pretty much over. And I just have to simplify and trade down. So I started with rook d1, which was to trade rooks. I take. And then at this point, queen here, with the idea that if they're not careful, I'm going to go here. And it ended up working for me. And then the key thing, instead of taking this way, I take that way. Although I'm sure the other one was also fine. Okay, actually it says this one is best. But it's like they can go here, and now it's like, yeah, he's still winning, but queens don't come off. It's like a little more complicated. But for a human, just getting queens off when you have this kind of material advantage is golden. And okay, so the thing is, my knight was being attacked. So that's why I had to do that and lose that pawn. And then I got the rook to the open file, and rooks on 7th ranks are generally good, and so I did that. Because it can help the pawn promote, it can also just take a lot of their pawns and attack these other weak pawns. It's like when I said I created those double pawns for him early on, part of the reason that becomes a big deal in the endgame is because if someone gets a rook to the 7th, then this can just take and then take, back when there was like a pawn here. But yeah, like you should have went here, and then I wouldn't be able to promote right away because they could just take. And then I also had like low time, so but they just gave me the queen. And then I just have to make sure I don't stalemate. So I have 15 seconds left. They have a rook, so just taking. Sure, there's probably some checkmate. You see all these main 4s, main 5s. But just for simplicity, sometimes I just take so they don't have any pieces, and then I can just move really quickly without risking hanging anything. Okay, and then we got the win. So, alright, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.